Father Casey Jones here, and here we are in our presentation challenge 2020, and today we are going to talk about the scale. All right, this is the scale. Now I gotta tell you, sometimes we fear the scale. Sometimes when we know we haven't been as healthy as we should be, we are scared to get on the scale. But today it is time to get real with the scale. If you haven't already, please get on the scale. And if you're worried about how much you weigh, maybe it's not what you want to weigh, maybe you haven't weighed, this much in a while, or maybe it's an all-time low for you, for those of you guys that are trying to bulk up, you might be scared. But the thing about the scale is the scale doesn't lie. So it's important for us to be able to track this. And this way, when you lose all this weight, let's say you weigh an astronomical amount, like a high amount than you thought you did. Well, look at this way. This way you're able to really keep track of all the weight you've been losing. If you're already dieting, chances are you've already lost some weight. And man, those are some victories you could be celebrating that you're not going to be able to celebrate until you take that moment and you get on the scale. Learn to be friends with your scale. This is my scale, and we're friends. We've learned how to be friends with each other. You have to get on the scale. I recommend, by the way, getting a digital scale if you haven't already. It's just better for accuracy. Now there's scales that can link up with your phones. There's scales that can tell you body weight, how much is water, how much is lean muscle. There's all these different things they can do. That's fine. Remember, nothing's a substitute for a doctor's visit or actually being tested for, these things. Professionals who know what they're doing. But it's important to get a scale. And if we're bigger gentlemen, get a scale that is able to take you, right? This is all about being real. Now, let me tell you, not every victory is about the scale. In fact, I'm going to tell you, for me, the scale hasn't moved in a few days. Even though I've lost a good amount of weight on this challenge, there are times when the scale is going to stay still. And that's okay too. If we're eating right, if we're exercising, if we're meeting all of our healthy objectives, it's okay if that scale doesn't move. That's when we have to acknowledge that there are victories in life beyond the scale. If you're ever part of Weight Watchers, they talk about celebrating those non-scale victories. And I think it's really important to celebrate those. What is a non-scale victory? All right, well, so let's say I resisted some unhealthy eating. That's a non-scale victory. Let's say my pants are a little bit looser than they were before. Let's say my clothes are starting to fit me a little bit better. That's a non-scale victory. Let's say I decided to move more today, so I decided to park intentionally on the far side of a parking lot when I was walking to the gym or to the supermarket. That's a non-scale victory. It's important to celebrate those things in our lives. But men, if we're going to be real about getting into health, whether we're looking to shed some pounds or whether we're looking to gain some pounds, we got to get on that scale. And I know there's times when I don't want to get on the scale, and Father Ryan's really good about encouraging me to do that. And so I just want to say the same thing to you guys. Get on the scale. It's time to get real. It's time to be positive, but we have to be able to track. And so part of that tracking, part of that brutal honesty we've been talking about, means properly tracking our weight. If you are going to measure your progress, which I encourage you to do, whether you choose to do it daily or weekly, and that's up to you. You can talk to your trainer, your nutritionist, your doctor. Remember we said about your team, get a sim with your team. Talk to the experts in your team and ask them what they think the best stage is for you to weigh yourself. But make sure you weigh yourself at the same time every day. Most people will tell you the best time to weigh yourself is in the morning right after you use the restroom, and make sure you're wearing the same clothes. So if you're a guy who sleeps in your boxers, weigh yourself after you use the restroom. Then you know that you're getting consistent results every day. That's very important for that brutal honesty, because if I weighed myself at night after dinner, after the last thing I eat, right, I'm obviously going to weigh more than I do in the morning. Why? Because, well, my body has to process all the food I've eaten the day. I have to, excrete and all that good stuff. So it's important to be very consistent. And one thing you might be surprised if you weigh yourself at different times of the day is how much your body fluctuates. If we're drinking the amount of water we should, our body weight could fluctuate quite drastically. So it's just important that we get on that scale and we get those accurate numbers. So I just invite you all to learn how to have a positive relationship with your scale, because it is a huge key to being able to eat clean, be fit, and pray well, and stay fit for the kingdom. God bless you, brothers. Take care.